J.D. Vance shuts down Caitlin Collins on her play on words as it referenced to Trump.
Yale-educated attorney, and I want to get your take on what we saw happen last week, those immunity arguments before the Supreme Court, where Trump's team, his attorney, argued that a president could order the military to stage a coup and to have their political opponent assassinated and be immune from prosecution unless this theory that they were impeached and then convicted by the Senate. Do you share the view that presidents are basically above the law?
Look, Caitlin, I think we have to be careful about imputing words into the president's attorneys that they didn't actually say. What the president's attorney said is that what the president's attorney said, Caitlin, to be clear, is that there is a checks and balances system in our Constitution. Now, some things the president does, private acts, are liable to criminal penalties. But most of the things that the president does in their official duties, we have a system of impeachment. We have a system of checks and balances, the legislative branch that I'm a member of, the judicial branch. I did not read the president's attorneys as saying that the president could order a coup. The president's attorneys are saying that the constitutional checks and balances system would address that problem. And I think that's an important distinction.
But let me stop you right there, because I listened to this. It's John Sauer, Trump's attorney. And when he was asked by one of the justices if the president could order the military to stage a coup and would it count as an official act, meaning he couldn't be prosecuted for it, he said it would depend on the circumstances. I mean, what circumstances warrant a president ordering the military to stage a coup?
Well, first of all, he did say it depends on the circumstances, so that opens up a whole lot of avenue for context there. But more importantly, Caitlin, he's just saying that would count as an official act.
But that's an official act in your view, too?
But could I finish the answer to the question, Caitlin? An official act, there are a number of checks and balances in our system. There's the impeachment process. There's the budgeting authority that Congress has. There are a number of ways where Congress has a check and balance control over the president of the United States. All he's saying is that the criminal liability procedures that exist in this country don't cover the president's official acts. And by the way, how could anybody disagree with that, Caitlin? Should Barack Obama be prosecuted for killing an American citizen via a drone strike? There are a number of examples in American history where if you apply the standard, the lawfare standard of the Biden administration against Donald Trump, it would make the presidency impossible to actually execute the laws.
Yeah. You know, J.D. Vance is not having it with what Caitlin's trying to say. Caitlin is just doing a little play on Trump's words, on the lawyer's words, and trying to make it seem like Trump and the lawyers were stating one thing when they weren't. And I get so tired of it because it's so true that they try to accuse the conservatives of doing something that they're already doing. They know exactly that the presidency has checks and balances to make sure that the president is not above the law and that the president can run the country in a way that would have checks and balances to keep him or her in line, but also in a way that if he's going to be extreme and there needs to be some stop, to what he's doing, then there's impeachment. And J.D. Vance lists a bunch of stuff of ways that we keep the presidency in checks through the checks and balances through government. But Caitlin is twice she tried to do it in this video. She's trying to, but they said in any circumstances. I mean, I'm so tired of Democrats running amok, trying to pretend that the words coming out of conservatives is meaning one thing when they're not. And they just really need to bottom line, just state the facts and stop trying to push the narratives that are wrong. They're lying all the time. And J.D. Vance put her in her place, which I just love. He did it so respectfully and so factual. He was like, no. That is not what they meant. And he was able to just articulate very nicely what really the lawyers were trying to say.